Our family has produced quality pet foods for the last 25 years. With the production of Origin and its fresh regional ingredients, our company now produces the highest quality dog and cat food available. This has been the key to our success. This short film tells a story. I hope you will enjoy it. Thank you.
Champion Pet Foods is an independent specialty pet food maker with a tradition of quality. Champion makes unique, biologically appropriate foods for dogs and cats from fresh, regional ingredients. Located in the small town of Morinville, Alberta, Canada, Champion is situated in the heartland of a rich agricultural region with access to world-class ingredients, raised on local farms or fished from clear lakes and Canada's pristine North Pacific Ocean.
Champion Pet Foods has a unique way of approaching the manufacture of dry dog and cat foods. We call this biologically appropriate. Biologically appropriate is important because it actually matches the foods that dogs and cats would eat in their natural environment. These include things such as higher protein levels, lower carbohydrates, far more meats than conventional foods because dogs and cats would be eating primarily meat-based diets in their natural environment, and of course a large variety of fresh meats. So that's what we focus on in our biologically appropriate concept, and this is what we call nourishing dogs and cats as nature intended.
Champion's dog and cat foods are made with a wide variety of the freshest meats that are farmed or fished within Western Canada. Fresh meats arrive daily, free of preservatives and in the most natural form possible. The rich variety and high inclusions of fresh meat is key to the company's biological appropriate concept.
We use 16 different animal ingredients delivered fresh to our door each day. These are all passed as fit for human consumption. They consist of poultry ingredients, which are fresh free-run chicken, turkey, and duck, as well as fresh whole egg. We also use red meat Alberta ingredients. These are locally grown by farmers in the area, and they consist of bison, wild boar, heritage pork, fresh Alberta beef, and fresh lamb. We also use sustainably caught wild fish that consist of 5 species of freshwater fish and 3 species of saltwater fish.
Chicken, turkey, and whole eggs arrive from farms in Alberta and British Columbia, fresh each day. Champion's chicken, turkey, and duck are raised free-run and without hormone-enhanced feeds. They're also free of antibiotics and passed fit for human consumption by the Government of Canada.
Well, Hallmark Poultry has been in Vancouver for, I think it started out in 1954. We harvest about 100,000 to 110,000 birds a day, and we're shipping about 80 to 100,000 kilos a week to Champion, and we have been doing so for the last 2.5 years.
Vanderpool's eggs, we process for Champion about 120,000 eggs per week. The eggs that we use here are also the eggs that are used in the food service, restaurant, and retail market in Canada. The eggs are broken here and processed immediately. Eggs are pasteurized. Eggs have about a 14-day shelf life as a fresh product, and typically are delivered to Champion about 3 or 4 days after they've been processed here in our plant.
Alberta has a long-standing reputation for raising the finest red meats, including beef, bison, lamb, and wild boar, all raised free-range on its vast foothill farms.
At Champion, we feel it is very important for us to understand where our ingredients come from and how they're raised. For this reason, I go to the producer level and visit each producer and understand how the animals are produced. Is it being done in a manner that takes consideration of the welfare of the animal? Is it being done sustainably? And is the quality of the meat that to which we expect?
Passed fit for human consumption and delivered fresh, Alberta lamb raised on a natural diet is loaded with red meat proteins, perfectly suited to nourishing dogs and cats.
We believe that we should be good stewards of the land and the animals that are entrusted to us. So in everything we do, we try to take the very best care of what we've been given. We intensively graze our land, which means that we're rotational grazing. We give them small paddocks and we let the animals graze it. We move them every 2 to 3 days to a new piece. So what that means is we're able to get a really good distribution of manure on the land and a nice even graze. And then we can rest our land for up to 45 days before we bring them back, so that pasture has time to recover and regrow. For the animals, it means that we're giving them the very best plane of nutrition we can, because every couple of days they're getting fresh grass, so our ewes are producing lots of milk for our lambs, and our lambs always have the best grass to eat. We also, on our land, we never use any chemicals or fertilizers, and we don't treat our lambs with any hormones or antibiotics.
Alberta's grassland farms are Canada's #1 producers of quality bison. Raised on natural diets, Alberta bison is a superb source of red meat delivered fresh each day. The bison is free range and a perfect example of Champion's biologically appropriate concept. Wild boar is another unique red meat ingredient. Raised free range specifically for Champion Pet Foods, wild boar is a great example of how Champion matches its ingredients to the foods dogs are evolved to eat in nature.
We have 400 or 500 animals here on the farm. The animals live on 160 acres of land. There's probably 35 acres here that are open, and the rest is swamp and marshland. Their favorite food is algae out of the creek down there. It is nice to have Champion Pet Foods in the marketplace buying wild boar. They're buying around 250 animals a month right now, and they've really put a solid underfooting into the wild boar market in Western Canada.
Alberta ranchers have been raising beef for more than 100 years, and they're really good at it. They are again free-ranged and eat a natural diet.
Cattle are great biological organisms, and they'll adapt to the climate and conditions in Alberta, whether it's 30 degrees in the summer or -30 in the winter time. Their metabolisms will adjust. And we think of free range, and it's, people think that that's the right thing to do, but in agriculture it wasn't just the right thing to do, it was the thing that cattle grew on, and they were good utilizers of the of a type of protein. When we look at this grass here, it looks nice and green, but it's not something that we want mixed in our salad. But the cattle are great at doing that and turning that into a high quality protein. So free range is not just a buzzword and something to the rancher, but free range is how cattle grow and move along their life cycle.
Wild-caught fish are a key ingredient in the biologically appropriate concept. Loaded with highly digestible proteins and essential DHA and EPA omega-3 fats, freshwater and saltwater fish are delivered fresh from Canada's cool northern prairie lakes and the North Vancouver Islands Pacific Ocean. Canada's cool, clean prairie lakes are a sustainable source of wild-caught fish, including northern walleye, northern pike, lake whitefish, and lake trout.
Well, this is actually a very sustainable fishery, and we have a limited number of fish that we can catch, and as a result of that we have a pretty strong fishery. Well, freshwater is really everything to fishermen in this area, because they're the people who buy our fish. It's really operates for the betterment of the fishermen as individuals. The marketing board really works for us. It's like in a way it's like a co-op.
We purchase our raw material from approximately 2,000 fishers who are located in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Northwest Territories. They are harvesting the raw material from over 400 lakes. Because we are fishing from a large number of lakes, we are also maintaining the fact that we're going to have lake sustainability. We're not overfishing any given lake. We started our relationship with Champion Pet Food about 3 or 4 years ago, and we now sell all of our product exclusively to Champion. This is all food grade quality product that we supply to them, and we ship it directly to them in a fresh state so that they have the finest of product for their pet food.
Vancouver Island's North Pacific Ocean is famous for its salmon, herring, and flounder. Delivered fresh from Vancouver Island, these fish are never frozen, are past fit for human consumption, and provide an outstanding source of highly digestible proteins and essential marine source of DHA and EPA omega-3 fats that are essential for peak conditioning.
Celtic Seafoods is a fully QMP, HACCP, and Canadian Food Inspection Agency approved plant. We're able to export our products throughout the world, domestically, internationally. The close proximity to the fishing grounds gives Celtic a really unique advantage over a lot of our other plants and operations on the coast here. So we can, a lot of cases, we're processing the fish the same day it's been caught and delivered, and it ensures a good product. Our rigid quality programs throughout the plant, they ensure that right from the moment that we receive that fish to the time it's processed and shipped to the customer, that quality is always ensured, and we don't deviate from that plan.
Biologically appropriate foods begin with ingredients that match the natural diet in their most natural of unprocessed form. And that's why Champion goes to such great lengths for the freshest meats, poultry, and fish that are raised within their region. Ingredient quality is also important, so Champion ensures all of its meat ingredients are all past fit for human consumption and delivered fresh to their door each day. But there's more to the fresh and regional ingredient story, as fresh meats have a dramatic effect of how Champion makes its biologically appropriate foods.
When the fresh ingredients arrive back at Champion Pet Foods, there's a series of tests that they have to undergo before they can be passed into our ingredient inventory. This requires, first of all, checking the refrigerated truck to make sure there are no leakages, everything's sealed properly. Temperature of the truck is critical because even though they've traveled only short distances, there are no preservatives in these ingredients, so maintaining that 4 degrees Celsius refrigerated temperature and being consistent at that is really key to managing that. Our QC staff will check temperature in a variety of places at a variety of times, all the way up until the fresh ingredient is actually used to make our biologically appropriate foods.
By matching the natural diets of dogs and cats, Champion's high fresh meat inclusions have a dramatic and positive effect on the food's nutritional value.
The unique thing about our extrusion process here at Champion Pet Foods is that it is a slower, lower temperature cooking process. Unlike conventional pet foods, our pet food is low carbohydrate or grain free. Consequently, lower temperatures to cook the product, meaning that we can maximize the nutrients that are provided by the fresh meat ingredients.
Conventional pet foods are made from highly processed ingredients, both meat ingredients and grain ingredients. When you use a highly processed ingredient, your kibble has a very uniform look. Every kibble in the bag will look like every other kibble in the bag. For us to truly make a biologically appropriate food, we use a high inclusion of meat ingredients, which are natural. Natural ingredients have great variability built into them, and we do see that in our final product. So if you open up a bag of our food, our Origin or Acana, every kibble does not look like every other kibble. Why is this important? Well, you can be assured when you see this variability that fresh ingredients were used to make it. Prior to releasing any product to the marketplace, every batch of food undergoes rigorous testing. So for physical properties, we look at color, size, density, those sorts of things. Nutritional, we ensure that protein, fat match the bag claim. Our consumer wants to know that what they believe they're feeding their pet is what is actually in the bag.
Acana and Origin dog and cat foods are known and trusted by dog and cat lovers worldwide. Champion's biologically appropriate foods are shipped from the factory in Canada to more than 50 countries. Passionate about their products, the staff at Champion is dedicated to biologically appropriate foods and enhancing the lives of dogs and cats worldwide by nourishing them as nature intended.